Well, hello and a very good afternoon to you, and welcome along for the start of the TG4 All-Ireland Ladies Senior Football Championship. We're concentrating on this match in Group A this afternoon, and it has all the hallmarks of being a game that could provide us with an interesting fixture. It's the meeting of Mayo and Tipperary, who go head-to-head here in Hastings Insurance McHale Park. The conditions absolutely perfect for football. Let's start off by giving you a quick check on the two teams that are lining out in this match, and we'll start off with the Mayo team. Well, it's Mayo's first game since they would have competed in the Connacht Senior Football Championship final against Galway. Their manager is Michael Moyles. He's made two changes in personnel from that particular outing, with Sorker McCarney coming in and Tara Needham being handed roles in the starting lineup. Tamara O'Connor and Ciara White are the players who make way. It's a four-team group that also contains Dublin and Cavan, so needless to say, both Mayo and indeed Tipperary will be looking for a positive start today. Let's move on and take a look at the Tipperary team next, and they are managed, of course, by Peter Creedon. For them this afternoon, well, it's an mixture of youth and experience. Lauren Fitzpatrick will start in goals. Maria Curley, as you can see, is named at full back, and Cleona O'Dwyer and Clara English are the two midfielders. Up front, Lorraine O'Shea has been handed, a starting role in the full forward line at number 14, and of course you've got Casey Hennessy and Emma Morrissey also inside of that full forward line. Let's pause for the national anthem. So the number of spectators that are here in Castlebar today very much making their voices heard, as you would probably expect. Perhaps a predominant Mayo support here for this encounter. It's a huge weekend for Mayo GAA. Their ladies, Frank Brown, will be hoping to start it off on a positive note here against Tipperary, a game perhaps that they come into as strong favourites.
Yeah, a couple of big games ahead for me at GAA, I suppose, this afternoon, this evening, and then under 17 tomorrow, John. I think absolutely, we always say, on paper, Mayo went to a league semi-final. Tipperary were struggling a little bit to hold their own in Division 2, so you'd have to say, yes, Mayo are definitely favourites here. Tipperary without a couple of players that are away for different reasons, but Mayo would say, well, we're in a similar situation with the Kellys and that kind of thing as well. Now, what we have to say here, and you probably saw it on the camera a little bit there when we were doing national anthem, there's a really, really strong breeze. Looks like Mayo are going to have it in the first half, but I'm saying that's a 4 or 5, maybe a 6-point breeze there, John, run right round into the scoreboard end here today.
No doubt about it. Our match referee is Shane Curley. He's the man in charge of this game. He comes from the Glens GAA club in Galway, took charge of last year's All-Ireland intermediate final between Westmeath and Wexford as well. So a hugely experienced official in the middle for this game. As Frank mentioned, there's a very strong breeze that is blowing down the field almost diagonally, and it was interesting to see the goalkeepers warm up a little bit earlier as well, as they were trying to judge the angles of the breeze as it blows, but definitely favouring Mayo in the opening half. Tipperary looking to make a positive start. Here's Marie Creedon, the centre half forward, storming forward here. Wonderful run, and she can finish it off with a score. Well, just the start that they needed. The player from Turles Sarsfields running through the Mayo defence rather easily, taking our point, and a dream start for the Premier County.
13 and a half seconds, probably the fastest score we're going to see all weekend, but we see that so much in ladies football, John. Right from the throw-in, whoever wins it tends to drive right down the middle and try and get the opening score.
Yeah, what a start indeed for Tipperary. They lead here by 1 point to no score, so question marks been asked of Mayo early on. Sinead Cafferty now brings it forward. Sarah Mulvihill now is the player in possession. Mayo looking to bounce back immediately. Early touch for Lisa Cafferty, the corner forward. Works it inside to the corner. Mayo once again will be looking now to get an early score just to settle them down. Sorker McCartney giving the ball outside her there. Catherine Sullivan sprays it across to the far side. Good interchange of passing here by the Mayo girls. McCartney again involved in the mix. Out it comes here to Shauna Howley. Tipperary quite happy to drop players back as Catherine Sullivan again decides to play it inside the 45-metre line. It's quick hands for Mayo. It's good intense pressure that they're applying here. McCartney inside the 21-metre line gets the shot away. That's the dream start sent in there by Sinead Cafferty. In and over the bar. Two chances to either side early in the game, and both have taken points.
Yeah, a minute and a half into the game and a point apiece there, but probably after seeing the template for the first half of this game, you know, Tipperary are bringing 12, 13 players back and probably just hoping to hold against the breeze there. Mayo showing their bit of experience there, John, you know, recycling till they got Sinead Cafferty, one of their good shooters on it to take the score.
It was all about getting a shooter on the end of the move when they held on to possession for so long, so they'll be quite happy with how that has fared out for them. They've got another sideline ball again in an advanced position here, the Mayo girls, and once more they're going to move it quickly through the channels. Across it comes to Sinead Walsh, the centre half forward, offloads that one outside her again. Another opportunity coming in here is that Cafferty again, who's going to have a pop from distance, ball dropping out to the left of the post and going wide. Mayo's first wide of the game, but interesting to see how quickly that Mayo are moving the ball through the hands here, Frank, in the early interchanges of this game. Very much something they seem to have worked on since the Connacht final.
Absolutely, John, there's no doubt about it, and obviously Michael Moyles will be thinking of the bigger games ahead as well when they play the Meads, the Dublins. That fast interchange of play is going to be crucial.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Probably looking at maybe for games further down the line, as we mentioned, a 4-team group here, so a good start, absolutely imperative for the two teams. Mayo with quite a lot of the possession since giving away the early score, and now they've walked it into Aoife Geraghty. Tries to make a little bit of a better angle for herself here, has to recycle the ball back out again. Tipperary with so many players back. Sinead Walsh still manages to get the shooting opportunity and slots it in and over the bar. Second point of the game, opening one for her. Mayo lead by 2 points to 1, just over 3 minutes played.
Good score from Sinead Walsh, great prospect. We've seen her all throughout the league and in the early season competitions as well. You know, she's taken hold of that centre forward position and a real focal point for the Mayo attack.
Lucy Spellman, the recipient of that kick out there from Lauren Fitzpatrick. Tipperary's opportunity now to come forward. Their centre half back is Niamh Martin from the Slieve Naman club. Again, an opportunity for her, but referee just bringing them back, wanting the free to be taken from the correct position. The conditions, apart from that diagonal breeze, absolutely perfect. Good fast pitch here as well. Tipperary sending that ball out over the sideline, but really, when you had an opportunity to walk the pitch beforehand, Frank, and I've seen you sprinting across from the tunnel side over to the commentary box a little bit earlier. Good fast pitch and very advantageous for those fast runners out there, just like yourself coming over to the commentary box.
I'd say you're stretching a bit far there for a sprint now. I don't use Usain Bolt or any of them have anything to worry about. But funny, after the little bit of rain, the grass, but actually the fit weather is dry coming across. The pitch is immaculate, lovely and firm underfoot, and it's going to suit the team that's going to play that little bit of a running game.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And here come Mayo. Speaking of a running game, the ball played in here again towards Sarah Mulvihill, going back deep on the 45-metre line, gets her pass away, and once more Saoirse Lally involved. Just look at how quickly Mayo are working it up here. Kieran Needham plays it outside of there. Catherine Sullivan, no time being held on the ball here. Mayo really moving it as quickly as they possibly can, and now they're working it into the centre half forward. Here's Sinead Walsh. She's going to have a pop from distance, but again it's going to go out for Mayo's second wide of the game. 2 wides for them so far. We haven't played 5 minutes yet. Mayo continue to lead Tipperary here by 2 points to 1.
Yeah, and we see there probably, you know what, it's maybe Michael Moyles will be saying there, you know what, Sinead, just recycle that. You got a really good score, maybe just recycle it again as we get a fresh ball coming in there. 2 fresh balls coming in now. When I said to Mayo lads are keen to get as many balls behind that goal when they have the breeze with them to use it as well as they can, and Tipperary anxious to slow down the game and trying to manage their way through the first half.
Well, Lauren Fitzpatrick has certainly got a whole array of footballs to choose from there, but it is going to be a kick out, and the referee now tells her to get on with it. on the 21-metre line. This was the goals where we mentioned that the goalkeepers from Mayo were warming up a little bit earlier and were really struggling to try and judge the angles of the kick-out, but Tipperary have got that one away. Marie Creedon, again the player who started off the game in an electric fashion with that point in the right from the throw-in, winning that possession. It comes across again here towards Casey Hennessy. Will be one of the forwards here that they'll hope can really make things tick for them up front. Back out to Clara English again. English, eventually the ball goes down into the corner forward position. They're making a little bit of space inside. Marie Curley has pushed all the way up there as well. Interesting to see the way that Tipperary have deployed some of their players right at the start of this game. Here's one of the subs that they've introduced right from the start in Nicole Shelley, their number 17, been introduced right from the get-go here. English again bringing the ball forward, opportunities presenting itself. Morrissey, corner forward, gets the shot away, but it's the first wide of the match for Tipperary. Interesting to see the contrast. Very, very fast movement from Mayo, a little bit more patient from Tipperary, making absolutely sure that they're getting those passes away.
Yeah, and probably very conscious as well of not turning over cheap possession and getting caught on the counter-attack. You know, they're leaving two players back behind, just for the tacticians watching. You know, they're leaving their two wing backs sitting back even on the attack, John, so just to counteract that fast attacking and breakout from Mayo.
Here come Mayo again. Aoife Geraghty well inside the 45-metre line, getting that pass across there to Lisa Caffergy, the corner forward, cutting in field, getting it onto the right boot, getting her shot away and making no mistake this time. Well taken score from the player from Kilmore, Eve Shamrocks. Slots that one between the posts. Fine point for her, and it's Mayo who lead here by 3 points to 1.
And for any young players watching, John, that was a beautiful execution of the story. You know, she soloed off the right foot and through the dummy, take it back onto the left peg and slide it over the bar. You know, just for young people watching, a perfect execution of how a score should be taken.
Well, it's been a very eventful opening 7 minutes plus here. The kick out once again coming from Lauren Fitzpatrick, working it just shy of the 45-metre line, but Mayo overturned possession again. Mulvihill has it just outside that aforementioned 45. Plays it here to Catherine Sullivan, the team captain, slotting it in there again towards the danger zone, but Elaine Kelly from Capel White is the Tipperary player who's back to win the free for her side. The corner back, Emma Cronin from Moyle Rovers, is the player who goes back to the goalkeeper. Lauren Fitzpatrick again, and Fitzpatrick now deciding to venture out over towards the main terrace side of the field, getting the pass away to Nora Martin. Tipperary now working the ball short. That diagonal breeze blowing into their faces in the opening half. Niamh Martin finding it difficult to make progress here against the Mayo defence, but wins her free. Some options for her available. Immediately gets the ball away. It looks as if there was a push in the back there, and Clara English from Ardfinnan, referee giving her the benefit of the doubt to continue on with the advantage. Tipperary holding on to it with Marie Creedon. Really runs it into a cul-de-sac there, and Mayo once more are able to overturn possession. Saoirse McCarney from Westport very much involved in that overturn, and now they break quickly with Sinead Caffergy. A point already from her in the game, but lobs it down here towards Tara Needham, the full forward. Mayo now moving well, getting through the gears, and it comes to Sinead Walsh, chance of a goal, and it's slotted into the back of the net. It was a well executed finish. Lisa Caffergy in there, she was the player that finished it off. 1-1 from her in the game already, and really that was a goal brilliantly executed, well taken, and at this stage now in the 9th minute, Mayo have struck their first major.
Yeah, John, and you alluded to it earlier on. It's the speed of movement, and the speed of movement off the ball is what's creating all these openings. And you know, Tipperary are just going to have to do a little bit of 6s and 7s in the back division there. They need to go man on man, take a player and win their own battle. They're going with this kind of zonal defence, and it's just not working for them at the moment.
Yeah, just finding it difficult to get it going for them at the minute. 1 goal and 3 to a point. The scoreline here early on in the game. Tipperary once more go back to Elaine Kelly, way back at her own half of the field, now working the ball quickly through the channels here. They need to respond, you feel, Tipperary, with the next score. Very much been rattled here by the concession of that goal. Here's Niamh Martin, good running from her. Martin goes by, fouled as she was looking to get some leeway and some momentum going in her run, and it's going to be a free in here for the Tipperary side. And you could nearly sense already, Frank, crucial perhaps that they get the next score.
Yeah, absolutely, and I know we're just gone on to 10 minutes on the clock o'clock now, and we're kind of saying, it's very early to be saying that in the commentary box here, but yeah, just to keep in touch. Now, that has to be added with the government health warning. There's a very strong breeze favouring Mayo out there, but it's not the breeze actually, it's the movement off the ball. Lisa Cafferty is a constant thorn there. I'm even looking out now, that she's after drifting into a lead position on her own. Nobody is taking responsibility for her. I suppose for the tacticians watching also, Mayo on the Tipperary kickers are going on an absolute full course press.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It really is a fascinating game tactically to keep an eye on. So much going on. Here's Creedon for Tipperary. Now getting it forward there. Tim and Morrissey. They're inside the D. Whistle sound. Spotted the push, spotted by the referee. And it's going to be a free in. Well, here's going to be another opportunity now maybe for Tipperary to get that score. The aforementioned score that we talked about here. They are playing against the breeze in Hastings Insurance McHale Park, and now they've got the opportunity to hit back here against a Mayo team who recently lost the Connacht final against Galway. The free coming in from Emma Morrissey, and Morrissey dispatches the ball in and over the bar, and that is Tipperary's second point of the game. Now makes the scoreline 1 goal and 3 to 2 points.
That was a really good free into that breeze, John. There was a lot of work to be done there, and Emma, she kept it down under the breeze and drove it over the bar really well.
Yeah, Dublin, the other big team in this group, the recently crowned Leinster champions, regaining their crown after beating Meath. And right now there's going to be possibilities here once more now for Mayo to come back on the attack. Fiona McHale lobs it down again to that inside forward line that are already looking dangerous. Here's Sarah Mulvihill just inside the 45-metre line. Checks again to see what support levels are available. Catherine Sullivan, the team captain, has really started the game in an enterprising fashion. Offloads the pass once more. Real possibilities for Mayo, but the ball has been over carried just before it was played in there to their full forward, and that's going to be a free out.
Yeah, I was just about to give out about it. I thought maybe Shane Curley had missed it there, but I think it was Sinead Caff. She wasn't really sure. Should she give the pass? Should she go to another one? Got caught in two minds and took an extra step. A good call by Shane Curley.
Well, looking at this group from the outset, Frank, you would be predicting perhaps Dublin and Mayo as the two teams to advance, but Tipperary and Cavan obviously will have other ideas in it, but at the same time, no doubt about it, Mayo and Dublin would be the big two that many will expect to advance from this particular side of the draw from this group. It's Mayo who are on the attack again. Once more the ball switched across. Catherine Sullivan deciding to leave this one. Just look at the options that Mayo have building up for it. Here's Sullivan again. Always seems to make that intelligent use. Now can they get the pass away? Walsh trying to cut in again. Shot going in, and it goes in and goes over the bar, and another point there for Mayo. And you can really sense their movement here, Frank. It's troubling Tipperary so much.
That's Lisa Caff at 1-2.
Lisa Caff 1-2 for her.
1-2 after 12 and three-quarter minutes there. Tipperary are going to have to put a man marker on and just close her down. Just on a completely different side, I love what Tipperary have done with the jerseys from a commentator's point of view. Just a white number on a black background makes it an awful lot easier for us, John.
No doubt about it. Makes it so much easier indeed. Collision over there now on the far side.
Now that we're getting old and the eyesight is just going a little bit, it makes it a little bit easier.
Beginning to dim. Anything is a help, especially when you're this far away from it. But the facilities here absolutely excellent here in Hastings Insurance McHale Park today. The referee just going in and checking out on the injured players there. It'll be an opportunity for Tipperary to draw a breath. Of course, Frank mentioned at the very start that without a number of players, Aisling Maloney, Aisling McCarthy, Orla Dwyer, they survived in Division 2 of the Little National League but lost out to Kerry in the Munster semi-final earlier this year, and you already feel they could be up against us, against the All-Ireland semi-finalists who are from last year, who are looking to make home advantage very much count to their favour here today. And once more they're on the attack. They've won so much possession early on. That's a somewhat loose pass, however, really went into no man's land, and Tipperary are able to capitalise on that and come away with it. And here's Marie Creedon, the centre half forward, back to the midfielder Clara English. Now the corner forward Casey Hennessy brings it forward deep into enemy territory. Emma Morrissey again trying to make that penetrating run, goes back to Niamh Martin once more. Martin being forced back out towards the 45-metre line. Tipperary having plenty of support players coming forward. Elaine Kelly from Kappa White again, holding on to possession, but Mayo very much have set up defensively now and are able to counteract this attack, and is really very much making it difficult for Tipperary to try and make any type of penetrating run. And just as we say that, the ball has been overturned. That's good from a Mayo perspective. It's gone in again to Lisa Cafferty. She really is flying early on. 1 goal and 2 accumulated on her personal tally already. Little bit of a battle for possession, and she's won the free as well. And it's interesting, I think Casey Hennessy is the player who has gone back there to mark her.
To try and put manners on her a little bit. But the other thing there we have to note about Mayo, again, for people, Fiona McHale is pulling all the strings at the moment. She's a free player and really an experienced player. Very dangerous to be leaving Fiona, because that was a beautiful pass she played to Lisa Cafferty down into the corner as well. They set up this movement. Yeah,
Mayo again putting the passes together in this move. It's been a constant feature of the game so far. The wing back is Ciara Needham again. Plays it inside her there. Sinead Cafferty beginning to get some dominance going in the midfield sector at the moment as well. And you can just see how comfortable Mayo are on the ball at the moment. Very much each and every one of them playing their part in the build-up play. Tipperary can't get near it at the minute. McCartney again switches it back into an infield position. Now Tipperary looking to get away with the overturn. 2 players going in there for it. What's the referee going to give? It's another free to Mayo. Nicole Shelley judged to be the guilty party.
And then a silly little bit of cheek obviously to Shane Curley there as well.
Chat.
Yeah, and John, we say it every time in our commentary. I've yet to see a referee changing his mind, and I don't think we're going to see it here today either, do you?
No, just when will players learn? That's, I suppose, always been the age-old question here. Yep. A free here, you'd expect them to convert, Frank.
Now, it's rarely I gave out to referees in my time as well, but you'd expect this one to be slattered as well. John Breeze behind,
Yeah, well, let's see what happens. Ball kicked in, and as expected, slotted over the bar. Another point for Mayo, and very much now at this stage their opening point of the game coming as well from their corner forward Shauna Howley from Knockmore. Her free converted, was always going to win it over the bar, and Mayo stretch out the lead here. 1 goal and 5 to 2 points. Tipperary going short with the kick out. Lucy Spillane, all about maybe looking to make a big performance. A lot of teams will have taken so much encouragement from Meath in last year's championship. Remember covering their opening game against Cork down in St Brendan's Park in Birr, where they really put it up to the Rebelettes on that day. And although they didn't win the game, they lost it narrowly. They were unlucky to have lost it. They very much laid down a marker, and it grew momentum from there. So Tipperary will probably take on a lot of maybe encouragement from the performance, and other teams will take on the encouragement from the performance of the Meath ladies last year. But right now it's Mayo coming forward. Sinead Walsh again involved, and again the ball slotted in and slotted over the bar. They're really taking those points well at this stage.
Yeah, but Tipperary are very naive in their defending there, John. That little ball over the top is after catching them 3 or 4 times. It made the goal chance for Lisa Caff. It made that where they're pushing out on the player, but they're forgetting about the player drifting in behind, little over the top. Suddenly then all of your blanket defence is wide open.
Something Peter Cretan will be very anxious, I'm sure, to rectify when he gets the players back into earshot at half time. And again the ball worked from the Mayo team, really moving it forward here with great pace. Now they could be looking for another score here, and it's Ciara Needham who's up at the attack this time, and again they get another point. And the attacking options from Mayo, those attacking runs are coming from all over the place. You're quite right what you're saying. They haven't picked up the runs where the ball has been played in over the top, but equally so there's a number of players coming off the shoulder from time to time that hasn't been picked up.
The movement there is very polished from Mayo, and that's their 5th scorer there on the, as a management group, that's what you're always, am I getting an array of scores getting on the scoreboard here, and we're getting that.
Yeah, number 17 I think has gone off there for Tipperary. Nicole Shelley seems to be the player who was, she's definitely the player who has gone off. So that's the early switch that's been made by the Tipperary management team very early in the game as well, but they're obviously concerned. Number 12 I think may well have come on there. I don't think she started for them, and that, well, she did, Elaine Kelly. Just want to confirm the player that's come on. We'll do that in a moment, but right now we're back live at the action again. 45 metres out from the goal, and there's going to be another free here that Lisa Cafferty is standing over but decides to leave. And once more possibilities for Mayo, and Sinead Cafferty now is the player who is going to kick this one just inside the 45-metre line. A diagonal breeze that has almost changed direction in the way it's blowing diagonally from earlier today. That's going to make it very, very difficult to attempt a kick like that, and indeed it goes well out wide. Just on the breeze, Frank, it's constantly changing from the flags behind the goal. 1 minute it's blowing down here right into our commentary position. The next moment it's blowing over towards the stand on the far side. Must be a nightmare for free takers and indeed for goalkeepers with restarts as well.
It seems like a common trait for me and you, John, when we're doing commentary down in Quiche there 2 weeks ago as well. We had the very same situation situation where I think it made a fool of us on a number of occasions, but it's blown right across now. Sinead actually didn't judge that breeze at all. She threw it up onto the breeze and took it way off out to the right and wide.
Well, just look at Tipperary here. Creedon going forward, getting the possibilities to take on the Mayo defence. That all resulted as a result of a brilliant run from their own goalkeeper. Emma Morrissey now in possession. Tipperary, the team from the Premier County, looking to get some scores on the board here. Maureen Murphy is their number 7. Centre half back is Niamh Martin. Again, they've been forced outside the 45-metre line. Mayo just seem to be able to drive them back, then get in the tackles when they attempt the overturn. Tipperary have held on to it on this occasion. Elaine Kelly bringing it forward. Possibilities here. Clara English up at the attack once more. Still Tipperary have it. Still they're looking to carve out some openings. They've got the ball in there, I think, to the sub who came in, the number 20. Eva O'Shea from Mullahoan, and again she is finding it difficult really to get some space over there. It's at a premium at the moment here. Tipperary stringing the passes together. Maureen Murphy just want to see if they can get an end result at the end of this. The lead building up a little bit. They're already 8 points down at this stage, so they could do it another score. Advantage being given to Niamh Martin, and now eventually the shot is going to come in. Will he bring it back? No, he had allowed the advantage to continue, and it goes out wide.
Yeah, you know, Peter Creedon will be probably a little bit happier, even though it ended up with a wide. He's probably a little bit happier, John, with that series of play where they were patient and recycled the ball. Now, Casey Hennessy pulled the trigger a little bit early to kick it wide there, but, you know, it's a strong breeze, as you say, but Peter will be a little bit happier with the recycling of the ball, but the only thing, a little bit slow, a little bit methodical compared to the Mayo breakouts. Ciara
Needham really left Sarah Mulvihill with much too much to do to try and keep that one in play, so it's going to be immediately a sideline ball for Tipperary. Elaine Kelly again is the player who brings it forward for the Tip ladies, so an opportunity for them now to get 1 or 2 attacks in a row going here to maybe trouble the Mayo defence that in the main have looked very comfortable right throughout the game. That's Marie Creedon again. Tipperary now bringing the ball forward here. Good strong running from the midfielder. Cleona O'Dwyer plays the ball outside her again. Tipperary surely will be looking for a free maybe out of this one. Emma Morrissey plays on. Golden rule, always wait till you hear the whistle. Maureen Murphy, now there's possibilities for them. The overlapping run from Lucy Spillane just been blocked off there by a number of Mayo players. Back out it comes to Maureen Murphy again, and the referee now spots the infringement, and it's going to be a free in at the end of all of that, and another free for Tipperary, and a couple of periods of sustained pressure for them in the Mayo half, Frank.
Yeah, you just took my line there, all right, John. I'm a little bit more composure there that time, all right. Now, Ciara Needham done a needless foul there really to kind of give away this opportunity for Emma Morrissey here. Tricky enough into the breeze, John, but I expected to score this, and we're right again.
Yeah, dead on. She gets the score, her second of the match. Emma Morrissey getting that ball over the bar, so a point for Tipperary, now leaves it 1 goal and 7 to 3 points. Important for them to keep the scoreboard ticking over against the breeze. Oh, and there's danger here. Creedon in on the short kick out, and she slots the ball and takes the point. Slots it between the posts, takes the point. It all came as a result of Aisling Tarpey's kick out that went slightly astray. Well, we mentioned it how we were watching the warm-up earlier, Frank, and sometimes warm-ups can tell you a lot.
Yeah, John, that's something that we talk about off air there just before the game. We were watching Ash doing her Aisling doing her warm up there, and she was a little bit wayward, particularly with them 20-30 yard kicks. Got punished there, and actually, you know what, with a bit more confidence, Marie Creedon could have took it on and went for the goal.
Oh, the goal you felt was definitely at her mercy. The ball has been over carried by Mayo. 1 or 2 little elementary errors now creeping into their performance. 1-7 to 4. They still got a good advantage, but remember, they are playing with the aid of this breeze, and we're 23 minutes into the opening half. Here comes Tipperary now once more. Their centre half back is Niamh Martin, and now they walk the ball down the field quickly. Here's their corner forward, Emma Morrissey in possession. Brings it on here towards the 45. Still Morrissey. Supporting player is Marie Creedon, who had that opportunity just a couple of moments ago. Her confidence, you feel, is really building, as is Emma Morrissey's, and that drops short, and Aisling Tarpey is there to take that one. Now it's the Mayo goalkeeper's turn to come forward. Slots the ball away to the far side once more. Mayo with this confident, patient build-up that has served them well here in the opening half in this round 1 encounter in the TG4 All-Ireland Ladies Senior Football Championship. Ball comes comes down to Shauna Howie. Now they're working it better. Catherine Sullivan really getting the license to go forward, taking on the Tipperary defence. Lands to within 21 metres of the goal, being defended by the Premier County here in the opening half. Sarah Mulvihill again in possession. Mayo, as they've done so many times in this opening half, putting the passes together. Again it comes across here to Sarah Mulvihill, out to the midfielder McCartney slotting it quickly down to the full forward Tara Needham, who shoots from distance and takes a wonderful score. Well taken score indeed. The full forward line from Mayo look as if they're on their game today.
Yeah, that's the third score. That's all of the full forward line after scoring now, John, as well. You know, the other thing I'd say there, what Tipperary are doing, John, as soon as they're getting turned over, they're all flooding back. But really, you know what? In theory, that's brilliant. But all they're really doing is inviting the Mayo Power runners on. Sometimes Jurgen Klopp talks about it. Maybe Tipperary should be looking at a high line of engagement.
Well, here could be some engagement from Tipperary. Niamh Martin leading their charge, brings it on to the edge of the D, and just really seemed to get caught in two minds what she was going to do with the ball after that. Saoirse Lally was able to come in and pick her pocket. It comes out to Sarah Mulvihill. Mayo having looked very lively on the counter-attack right throughout this game so far. Sinead Cafferty again bringing the ball into field to Sarah Mulvihill, gets that shot away, a little bit wayward, and it goes out for another wide. They're mounting up a little bit for Mayo at this stage. 4 is it for them, Frank?
I make it 4 wide, Sean.
So
make it 4 wide there. But as we were saying there, that inviting the Mayo Power runners onto you, the likes of Ciara Needham, Catherine Sullivan, Fiona McHale, you really are inviting trouble coming into your own 45. As I say, if it was me, I'd be trying to defend higher up the pitch.
1 goal and 8 to 4 points the scoreboard at the moment. We're not insurmountable from a Tipperary perspective.
No, we've seen a little bit of a purple patch from Tipperary, but what'll be annoying Peter Creedon there, a couple of basic mistakes, maybe Emma Morrissey tried a shot that really wasn't on. Niamh Martin there kind of wasn't in two minds and turned over cheaply, but up to that we've seen their use of the ball has improved an awful lot, John, in the last 10 minutes.
Maureen Murphy playing this one outside to the corner back. Ellen Moore getting the opportunity to come forward now. Tipperary's defence have been so much concentrating on defending, but now they're getting the licence to push more players forward. Emma Morrissey brings it up here towards the 21 metre line. Still Morrissey, diagonal ball, beautifully struck. Real opportunities here for Clara English. Turns in field, just looked to get the pass there to Casey Hennessy, but again it broke down. And well, you can hear the frustration levels there for the Tipperary girls. We'll bring Frank in on that in a moment. Here they come now. Mayo, this is Aoife Geraghty. Quick delivery from her. Looking once more for Lisa Cafferty. Has it in the danger zone. Knows where the posts are. Gets it outside to Shauna Howley. Shot eventually is dispatched, and the ball goes in and goes over the bar, and the Mayo team, as quick as a flash on that counter-attack, punished Tipperary's indecision at the other end.
Yeah, the story of the first half we're after seeing in the last 90 seconds there, John. Tipperary got himself into a really good attacking position, turned over the ball really cheaply, then made another mistake there. In fairness to Nora Martinez, came back to take Lisa Caff. She's doing a good job on her, but she made a handling error, offloaded Lisa Caff, and another score coming up there.
Yeah, another score for the Mayo team, stretching out their lead at the moment. 1 goal and 9 to 4 points. And again, there's going to be another free for Mayo in the middle of the field. Sarah Mulvihill was the girl who was fouled, and Mayo moving the ball quickly again. Here's Fiona McHale. Pitch opening up a little bit for her. Beyond the 45-metre line she goes. Just look at the support play from Mayo again. Look at the speed of the movement. Tara Needham now is the player at the end of the move, and again she takes the score. Well, the movement is so fast. The build-up play is brilliant. There's loads of options, and every time they seem to be getting a finisher on the end of the move.
Yeah, absolutely, John. And we talked about earlier on about Fiona McHale, her hitting if the line all the time is creating that overlap. But 2 really good points from Tara Needham there off the right peg. As good a score as we see, John.
Absolutely wonderful scores. Very, very impressive indeed from the Mayo team here in the opening half. Important for Tipperary that they managed to dig in here now for the closing stages of this opening half. We've still got 7 minutes left. They want to be in the game at half time. They want to give themselves something to aim for, but really the movement of Mayo, and even against the wind, the way Mayo worked the ball with this short hand passing game, that could be advantageous playing against the breeze in the second half.
Absolutely, John. It's a very much a running game that we're seeing from Mayo here, you know. That being said, Fiona McHale's after kicking a lovely 40-yard pass across the pitch, but mainly it's a running game that they're looking at playing all the time.
Sarah Mulvihill again has the ball here. Looks around, 2 Tipperary players managing to get in on her on this occasion, and now she's pushed to the ground. Was she there? Yes, it's the referee, and that's going to be a free in. Second time in relatively quick succession that she's been fouled. Tipperary obviously was struggling to, I'd say, almost counteract her movement, Frank.
Yeah, Sarah's a really good player after coming off a brilliant season last year with her club in Knockmore as well, and full of confidence there as well. Very fit player, you know, very aggressive, getting on the ball all the time. What I love about Sarah Mulvihill, she does the right thing with the ball all the time.
Strong running again from Fiona McHale this time. The launch pads of the attacks really all over the place now for Mayo at this stage of the game. Well anticipated there though, however, where that ball was going as Tipperary managed to get players back, and Eva O'Shea, a sub who was introduced a little bit earlier, going in to cut out that one. Tipperary winning the free, and an opportunity here for them to get the ball. Well, their forward line show that they have capability, but the possession going in, it's been too sporadic so far.
Too sporadic, too slow, but also as well, I think what's happening a little bit, John, is, you know, the final pass is just letting Tipperary, after letting them down 2 or 3 times.
Maria Curley looking to rectify that, and there you go again, Frank, bang on cue. That ball going in, leaving a little bit to be desired, was always going to favour Ailish Ruan, the corner back there from the Davids Club in Mayo, and they break again. Aoife Geraghty now over on the far side. Mayo once more moving with purpose, moving with speed. Fiona McHale, space opening up for her inside the 45-metre line now. Mayo with loads of players forward, plenty of shooting options there as well for them. They're working the ball quickly through the channels. This is a strong run coming in again here, and can the finish be provided? It goes right across the face of the goal, but it goes wide. But the Mayo midfielders as extra attacking options, this strong running that they're deploying is something that's troubling Tipperary as well.
Yeah, absolutely, John, that power runner. And also what we're just seeing on camera here, you know, there that Sorkin McCartney, Aoife Geraghty, as soon as the ball went wide, they're after sprinting 30-40 yards to put the full court press and pressurise the kick out from Tipperary.
That's one thing where Tipperary were beginning to get some of those kick-outs away, and they were using their goalkeeper then as an extra outfield player, and it's something that Mayo have very much identified and have counteracted. Now Tipperary go forward. Spillane playing it outside to Niamh Martin. Niamh Martin down to the corner forward. Here's Emma Morrissey with the shot, and it goes wide. Oh, it opened up for them. You could say Tipperary have created 2 decent goal chances, one from a Mayo kick-out that malfunctioned. That was another one.
Yeah, it absolutely opened up wide, John, and we were looking right 3 paces back from that. We could see the pitch actually open up in front. We could see the overlap. Great chance for Emma Morrissey. Maybe could have took it on another 4 or 5 shots before she pulled the trigger. Just as the half-time whistle goes, John.
Yeah, bang on. 31.5 minutes played, and the referee has sounded the half-time whistle there, so it's Mayo in the ascendancy. 110 to 4 points. They have played with this diagonal tricky breeze, maybe the best way to describe it, that again now is blowing in direction from the commentary position over towards the main stand that you're looking at on camera shot there at the minute, and just as we speak it's almost coming around and changing again. 110 to 4 points. It's definitely Mayo in the ascendancy here at the minute. Tipperary, what's their chances in the second half, Frank, and how do they get themselves back into this one?
I think you're dead right, John. I think it's definitely Mayo in the ascendancy here, but at the same time, Tipperary, I think, have enough to hang their coat on at half time. Peter Cretan will be saying, if we can get that last pass right, if we can cut down on our mistakes and use that bit of a breeze. Now, I'm not saying they're going to beat Mayo here, but I think there's a little bit for Peter to say, right, there's a bit here that we can push on and really have a rattle at Mayo. But then, that being said, Mayo, I think the word I would describe them today, they're very polished, very professional. They know exactly their routines.
The goal was absolutely crucial. Lisa Cafferty's finish absolutely brilliant. So much composure.
Yeah, and you know, I make it 1-6 from the inside full forward line out of that 110, which is brilliant scoring from your full forward line. We go back, John, you know, we talk about it being a game of chameleons now, where people have to turn into different things, forwards into backs and backs into forwards, but still you want your full forward line scoring, and we're after seeing that out there today.
Well, it still goes back to it. The team with the most is always going to win, and it's Mayo who have scored the most in the opening half. They lead here at half time. Mayo 1 goal and 10, Tipperary 4 points. Second half coverage to come. Well, you're very welcome back here to our second half coverage from Castlebar. It's round 1 of the TG4 All-Ireland Ladies Senior Football Championship, and we are coming to you live from Hastings Insurance McHale Park, where at half time it's Mayo who lead by 1 goal and 10 to 4 points. The Mayo team back out onto the field for the second half, just waiting for the re-emergence of Tipperary, and indeed I think there might be some movement maybe from a Tipperary perspective inside the next few minutes from there. So let's talk about it from a Mayo perspective, Frank. They've built up this little bit of a cushion here at half half-time. They've played with the breeze. They've given us an indication that this fast running game, carrying the ball from deep, has been hugely effective so far. So probably joining the dots together, we can expect to see more of that in the second half.
Yeah, I think the other thing there that we will look at as well is Michael will be looking at there only 4 wides as well. So we've had, they've had 11 scores and only 4 wides. So you're kind of going up into the high 70s there in terms of your conversion rate, which will be very interesting. That's something that will be looking from a statistical point of view, just as Tipperary come back out to us. The also the thing there, that running game though, that's the Meath Dublin benchmark that we've seen over the last 2 years, John. So there's a very high standard. Now Michael will be delighted. He's out there giving final instructions to his players at the moment, but he'll be emphasising that as they move on into the bigger games within the championship as well, that's what they're going to focus on. Now Tipperary are going to come out for the second half here and they're going to say we've already seen a small change there, whether it's just for the throw-in or not. Marie Creedon going in for the throw-in, and I think a sub coming on as well. But Peter Creedon is going to say, okay, let's cut down on the mistakes, let's keep doing what we're doing. If I was him, I'd be asking to engage kind of in a higher line also, but also take your chances. Yeah, we're a few points behind, we're turning to play with the breeze, so let's get going at it.
Away we go for the second half. Remember, there's 3 points for a win, so the two teams will be obviously looking to try and clock up those points early on. Early free once again being awarded to the Tipperary team, and once more Spillane sends it back there towards Niamh Martin, the centre half back, again getting some support play inside. Maureen Murphy, here's the wing forward, Elaine Kelly. Tipperary will be desperately looking to get the opening score, you feel. Creedon again running forward, and again has overcarried it. That's frustrating, Frank.
Yeah, absolutely there. Marie Creedon, she got into a really good position there. But she became unsure. What do I do? I'm on the edge of the D. Will I drive on? Will I not? Held the ball in her hands for too long, and away she went, as we say. Mayo again, this benchmark breaking out. Eilish Renane coming onto a pass there to break out. Danielle Caldwell. We're going to see an awful lot of that in the second half.
Yeah, they're going to be very much breaking at speed, you feel, in the second period of play. Here come Tipperary again. Niamh Martin just shy of halfway. Slots it down here to English. Good patient build-up play from Tipperary. They've got Elaine Kelly on the move here, taking on the Mayo defence. She's got supporting players up on her English, but again that finish just left an awful lot to be desired. There's a lot of indecision in Tipperary. There's an awful lot of the taking of wrong choices, you feel.
Yeah, we see Elaine Kelly there. She made a great run. The overlap was on McLaren, but the ball didn't go to hand, and then the chance was lost.
Mayo again on the counter-attack. They've been hugely effective right throughout the game so far. Walsh playing the ball outside her, taking the return just inside the 45-metre line, pumps it down there where Tara Needham is going to have to work a little bit hard to keep it alive. Succeeds in getting possession. Mayo again working the ball back to their full forward. Tara Needham tries to play the killer pass inside, but well anticipated again by Nora Martin, who was back there doing a defensive job for Tipperary. Cleona O'Dwyer. Back it goes to Lauren Fitzpatrick, the goalkeeper. Walks it towards this near side of the field where Tipperary have a number of players making themselves available. One of them is Emma Cronin, their cornerback. They're working it out again here. Downfield it comes. Possibilities once more for their midfielder, Clara English, who wins this one. Just shy of her own 65-metre line. Back it comes to Creedon again, taking on the Mayo challenger. Playing it down where there's a 2v1 situation here for Mayo. They had doubled up well on the Tipperary player who was left inside there. And once more, Mayo are going to break quickly from the back here. Danielle Caldwell. Just see the way the Mayo defensive players are adding extra options from this running game with attack. Fiona McHale. Here's the corner forward, Shauna Howley. Centre half forward there for Mayo is Sinead Walsh. All the time they're making sure they retain possession. Now it's got into Tara Needham again, the full forward. Quick offload this time. Mayo creating the opportunity. The shot coming in but dropping short once more. That's easily gathered by Lauren Fitzpatrick, Tipperary goalkeeper, with the wind on her back in the second half. Again coming out the field, linking up with Maureen Murphy. Peter Creedon, of course, the man who's in charge of Tipperary in 2022. Ball going across there towards the direction of Casey Hennessy, wearing number 13, taking the return pass. Still it's Hennessy. Links that one inside once more. Cleona O'Dwyer has really got through a lot of work in the midfield sector for Tip. She's getting inside the 45-metre line now. Has that support play been made available from O'Shea? And Eva O'Shea gets the shot away, but unfortunately for her and for Tip, she shoots wide.
Yeah, and that was a much better bit of play from Tipperary though. They broke out of pace, you know, they got Eva O'Shea onto possession there, and you know, that was a decent chance. We've seen Mayo convert, and Sinead Walsh converted 2 of those for Mayo in the first half. The other problem there, what we have to comment on though here as well, Tara needed movement inside the full forward line for Mayo has been exceptional. She's staying inside the 20 metre line. That's how you beat that drift defence, and moving over and backward inside the 20 metre line, and then giving the ball to the player coming in on the run. Just as I said, she's after drifting out for this pass.
Yeah, well, the aim for these teams is going to compete in the All-Ireland final, which will take place on the 31st of July. It's going to be a season that's going to be over really in the blink of an eye. Here come Mayo again. Shauna Howley. Opportunities for her onto the left boot this time, shoots against the wind, and she takes her score. Opening point of the second half for her. She scored, I think, 2 in the opening period of play, and that makes it 3 for her. Good personal tally, and I suppose a good confidence builder for Mayo to get that opening score as well, despite the fact that they're playing against the breeze, Frank.
Yeah, good score from Howells as well there. Mayo were very patient. They done all their attacking on the left hand side, but you know, Shauna Howley used all her experience, drifted out here onto the right hand side, waited for the ball to come across, had time to stop, take a solo, steady yourself, and tap it over the bar. So a good point from Howells.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The last place teams in these groups will play off to decide which team is relegated into the All-Ireland Ladies Intermediate Championship for next season. The 2 teams that finish top will be advancing to the quarter-finals as well. Here come Mayo again, and a tough tackle coming in there. Referee has spotted it, and it's going to be a free out.
Charging with the ball there, all right. You know, that's a really difficult one, John. Every time we talk about ladies football, we always talk about the interpretation of, is the player kind of maintaining the running line, or they're charging with the ball, or, you know, it's always a difficult one.
Tipperary have given this one away. There's possibilities for Sinead Cafferty here to take the return, and Mayo now looking menacing again, and the shot coming in from Cafferty this time, but it just tails out to the wrong side and wide. The wind perhaps a factor there, but you can't really blame the wind on the way that maybe, well, the ball was given away there by the Tipperary team.
Yeah, just a cheap turnover there as well, and you know what, Mayo will be disappointed they didn't punish that. That's their first wide of the second half and their 5th wide in total.
Yeah, 5th in total. So opportunities once more for Tipperary to, with the wind at their back, maybe to get some momentum up here, but they're just finding it difficult to break past halfway at the moment. Such has been Mayo's dominance in a lot of sectors of the field. Lucy Spillane heavily involved in this move. King gets the pass outside her. Once more, it's Niamh Martin. Niamh Martin, her attempted run being blown there, the referee blowing the whistle. Elsewhere, Dublin 2-8, Cavan 3 points is the score right here. Dublin pulling away there. Quiva O'Connor grabbing their most recent score. So Dublin certainly will be a team looking to regain that All-Ireland title, and they seem to be meaning business early on, judging by that scoreline in the game against the girls from the Breffni County. It's another team in blue who are attacking here. It's Tipperary. They need a score from somewhere, you feel, and that ball has gone out to the right of the post, and it has gone wide. Well, there was a real gilt-edge opportunity there for Tipperary that they failed to take, Frank.
Yeah, that was just, you know, terrible is the only thing there. You know, Cliona Dwyer found herself in absolutely acres of space. I don't think she could believe she was actually inside the last line of defence. Then she was unsure, will I kick it over the bar, will I take it on and go for the goal? And in the end she kicked it wide.
Again, it's going back to indecision. There's been about 3 goal chances, you could argue, that Tipperary have had here today. Just haven't put any of them away, and you really need to be taking them.
Sometimes that's a sign of a team just a little bit down on their confidence as well, and we're seeing that even in their build-up play. You know, they're looking for the handy pass rather than maybe take on their player and create the overlap. Mayo
again on the attack, and they brought the ball forward here to Shauna Howley. No signs of a hangover from the Connacht final for them. Here's Aoife Geraghty, grounded as she was going forward there. That's going to be another free in for the Mayo team. Tipperary beaten in the Munster semi-final by Kerry 2-12 to 8 points, but we really noticed here for the Mayo team that they got going in the second half in that game against Galway, and in many ways, Frank, they've continued on from where they left off in the second half of the provincial final.
Yeah, I suppose so locally, as we see Shauna Howley just getting ready to take this 20 metres out right in front of the goal, and she kicked off the left peg.
Routine kick for her.
Wide.
Oh, it's gone wide.
Really poor miss.
Goodness gracious, I expected that to go over.
Absolutely, we were almost ready to say that was a really good score. But yeah, as you said, we took on, I suppose the feeling locally within Mayo here was, gave Galway a 6 or 7 head start and then tried to catch up on them. And also there was a little bit of kind of comment locally about maybe from the minute Tracy Leonard came back into the Galway panel, she was always going to be the fulcrum, she was always going to be the target, and maybe in the first 20 minutes we didn't do enough in Mayo to kind of counteract that threat of Tracy.
Yeah, that's what.
But then easier said than done, because Tracy is one of the best footballers, pound for pound in the country at the moment.
Yeah, fantastic footballer, somebody who could have a huge season ahead of them with Galway as well. Meanwhile, it's Galway's big rivals that we're watching here in Castlebar today, Mayo. And Mayo coming forward again, very much now beginning to flex out their muscles here in this game. Almost 9 minutes gone in the second half. 111 to 4 points. They've consolidated the lead at half time and indeed added a point onto it as well. Tipperary really need to get something moving fairly quickly for them. Another one of the subs that they brought in there, Shauna Quirk from the Templemore Club. That's Lucy Spillane, full of running. Casey Hennessy again getting the licence to come forward here. Needs a little bit of support play. Still it's Hennessy on towards the edge of the D. The support eventually arrives there from Eva O'Shea. Tipperary looking to get maybe some joy on this near side, but again they decide to go back over to the far end, over towards the stand side of the field. The run being made forward here by their wing back, Lucy Spillane, and again the whistle sounds of the referee, spotted the infringement, and now there's going to be an opportunity for Tipperary to get that score, their opening score, the second half, that just might help them settle down a little bit here. The performance of them, more possession, but a little bit disjointed.
Yeah, absolutely. There just seems to be labouring for every single score. As Emma Morrissey has this one, off the right foot. She's 2 good frees in the first half. You'd expect her to kick this over, John, just as she lines it up, and see the umpire gives the nod. So good score.
It's good over. Third for her, and the score.
Third from frees.
Yeah, third from frees, and one that they needed, you could argue.
Yeah, but just as we're saying, it's a little bit laboured. The Mayo passing is that little bit slicker all the time, and they're struggling to find their man each time.
Yeah, more changes being made as well here. I think Mayo, is it Frank, that are making a switch this time?
It's like Tamara O'Connor, I think, is coming on in for Sarah Mulvihill.
Tamara O'Connor, is definitely been brought on. You're dead right. Sarah Mulvihill is the player who is going to make way. So the kick out is going to come once more here from the Mayo goalkeeper, Aisling Tarpey, defending the scoreboard end here in the second half. That was the end of the field that we identified some of the problems with the kickouts during her warm-up procedure just before the game started. It'll be interesting to see if Tipperary maybe push up on that kickout a little bit in the second half.
Aisling didn't do Fiona McHale any favours at all with that kick out there, and Fiona took a little bit of a dunt in the back there, kind of put her body on the line, went down and took her free, but Aisling, it wasn't a great execution of the kick out at all. As again, as play breaks now, we take a free for Aisling and have a free to restart it there.
Should be okay.
Yeah, that thing with Peter Creedon will be saying to himself, just that little bit of lack of confidence, John, that little bit of driving on while we're looking at the power running, the good runs. Mayo are very slick looking out there now. As we go on, is that slick enough to compete with the Galways, the Dublins, the Meads? Well, we'll see as it goes on. But Michael Miles will be thinking to himself, okay, a workman-like display, John, I think.
Yes, well, in this year's National Football League, Tipperary retained the Division 2 status. They were in Division 2A, lost out against Laois and Kerry, but won a vital game against the Banner County. The Clare team eventually were relegated. They lost a relegation final against Clare in Glennon Brothers Pierce Park in Longford. So that was really a crucial game indeed for them. Now they're applying that pressure, as we anticipated, a little bit maybe more on the Mayo kick out here in the second half. But in fairness to the Mayo side, they're moving the ball well through the channels. Danielle Caldwell getting the licence to go forward. Here's Saoirse McCartney, quickly plays it into Sinead Cafferty. Better here from Mayo as they move the ball with real intent, and over here it comes now to Cara Needham. Gets the pass away quickly to Catherine Sullivan, the team captain, laying off the pass for Sinead Walsh. Shoots somewhat from distance into the breeze, but shoots wide number 6 I make it for Mayo in the game so far. And again, Mayo very much sticking to type, sticking to that game plan that has been successful.
Yeah, also though, what I think Michael Miles will be looking in there, Sinead is after got 2 really, really good scores in the first half, but she's counteracted that with 3 really poor wides, as well as there's a Mayo player injured just down to her left hand side here, and really see.
I think it could have been even resulting from that last kick out, maybe, that the injured player perhaps needing some more treatment. It gives the manager there as well for Tipperary, Peter Creedon, an opportunity to assess what's going on. Was appointed to the role back in October. managed the Tipperary and Laois senior men's football teams previously, and indeed was in charge of Tipperary minor and under 21 teams. And now very much in charge of the Tipperary ladies team here. Has a good involvement with ladies football in the county as well. For a Mayo team, of course, Frank, they were dealt a major blow before the championship started. Players like Sarah Rowe, Niamh Kelly, Grace Kelly, Aileen Gilroy, all this the AFL commitments, and so many of the players, the top players. I was just listening to on the championship programme on RTE radio last night, and that was discussed, the amount of top ladies footballers here that are going over to Australia. Relatively short season. Can't blame them, making a living, but at the same time it's a big draw on the resources of the LGFA. Yeah,
it's a factor, and you know what, we're coaching, I suppose we can say we're coaching our players to go away, because, and I have no doubt, you know, and I've watched quite a lot of AFLW, the Irish players are really raising the standards, you know. Being fit is one thing, the Aussies are all fit, but the Irish girls are bringing a whole different level of skill to the game out there. They're the actual ones that are making it very marketable out there as well, and I can see why the AFLW are mad to bring them out.
Yeah, the number is growing, and a healthy number already, and of course the recruitment will continue. Here come Mayo once more. They're on the attack now. There's possibilities here for them to maybe get one or two more scores that would leave them a little bit safer in this match. They've worked it in field again. McCartney has been full of running for them in the midfield area. Sinead Caffergy, so much going through her at the moment. Fiona McHale running off the shoulder if she wants to use her. McHale going into a more central role now, so they decide to recycle the ball back out. Tamara O'Connor, as you can see, has been introduced as a sub for Mayo as well, as they now walk the ball up towards the edge of the D. Back to McCartney, the girl from Westport. Team captain Catherine Sullivan looks to try and play the killer pass in over the top. Collision of players there. What way did the referee judge this one is going to go? Anyway, it's treatment in first and foremost for the two players there that collided. Both players, I think, firmly had eyes on the ball, firmly had eyes on the prize, and literally speaking, put their bodies on the line.
Yeah, James is just zooming in there for a look there. I think it looks like it is Nora Martin down, and probably Lisa Kafka. She's been sticking quite closely to her all along there. There's no doubt about it. But there was nothing in it all really. It was just a collision. It was just a collision, and that was that. But not really sure what Shane Curley is going to go to do to restart it here. But the game is after petering out an awful lot actually for the second half there, John. You know, we're 15 minutes in. There's only been a point apiece.
Yeah, definitely so. Well, that's I suppose one of the challenges, and indeed that we want to say good afternoon to everybody who's tuned our way today, keeping an eye on this game, including Jackie Cahill, who'll be keeping a close eye as well on the Tipperary ladies to see how they're going to fare out as they make the journey here into the west, up to Mayo for this round one encounter. 1 goal and 11 to 5 points at the scoreline at the moment. Mayo in the ascendancy. The treatment being issued there, as well as the two players that collided being looked after here by their respective medical teams. Of course, we talked about some of the Mayo players out, also players as well when you think of Dea Finn and Fiona Doherty, players as well that involved with basketball and soccer commitments as well. So
the whole range, absolutely, John. So, you know, and that's probably maybe that's a difference, John, with the other teams, with the Meads, the Dublins. They're picking up a full deck. Great to hear Jackie listening, though. I hope he's learning a thing or two from us two masters.
I think it could be the other way around. He could tell us one or two things as well. Just a point to touch up on, Frank, as well. We spoke about all the players that are leaving it here from a Mayo perspective, but the minor team, a relatively successful minor team this year as well. 4 players elevated there straight away up into the senior ranks.
Yeah, and we're seeing that, you know, we're seeing the likes of Aoife Geraghty there and Circa McCartney and all coming from Westport. Westport is one of the growing clubs here locally in Mayo, you know, brilliant underage structure, you know, number of teams that are, and it's brilliant to see those coming through as well, and that's what's helping Mayo here. The problem is, we say, losing the calibre of players though that we're losing, John, you know, from a Mayo perspective, Tipperary perspective, you know, that is a worry.
Well, the ball has been thrown in. Thankfully, both teams up to that numerical advantage again of having everybody fit and healthy and good to go. And at the end of all of that now, there's going to be a free-in awarded here to Mayo, and an opportunity indeed for them to increase the lead a little bit more and strap it out a little bit further.
Lisa Caff off the right peg.
Yeah, Lisa Cafferty again is the player who takes it, and again makes no mistake. She's really been accuracy personified in the main from those frees today.
Yeah, that's given her 1-3 today now, and she'll be very, very happy with that return. But also there from a Mayo perspective as well, it's brilliant. You've Shauna Howley, a natural left footer that'll take the frees off the right, and then Lisa Caff, a natural right footer available to take the frees off the left. Great, a little bit to have in your their armoury.
Well, now there's 10 points between the teams, 1-12-5. It's a fairly healthy advantage here that they've built up. Mayo, 18 minutes gone in the second half, and Tipperary really want to make a move soon, you feel. Creedon has been one of the players who has very much lifted the challenge and brought the challenge to Mayo. Again, that last pass, last pass you've identified it, Frank, so many times, and it's a reoccurring factor in the game. And Mayo, more often than not, in situations like this on the counter-attack, can be hugely effective. Kieran Needham, now they've walked the ball quickly up to Saoirse McCartney. Just watch this from Mayo here as they flood bodies forward, and looking at the end of the move is Tamara O'Connor, and now they've walked it in 14 metres out. Could be a goal chance. Shot comes back in field to Lisa Cafferty once more. Still the danger not cleared. O'Connor there again. They were looking for a goal. They take the point. Tamara O'Connor, the sub who came in, finding the target, and again it was from a Tipperary mistake at one end, and forward came Mayo with real purpose, real intent, and got a point.
Yeah, we've really seen a blast there of actually what Mayo can do. That power runner from Catherine Sullivan, Fiona McHale coming from deep. The Tipperary players are backing off and giving that space, but also it's not as simple there. You know, we were moving the ball, Mayo were moving the ball very fast, but also offloading to the runner coming off the shoulder. Lovely little move there to see Fiona McHale going to have a little bit of a rest after actually she was going to be one of my nominations for player of the match. I thought she had a superb 45 or 50 minutes.
Well, maybe already thoughts could be turning maybe to the other games that are coming up. Remember, there'll be a huge match in this group as well when Dublin and Mayo renew rivalries as well. Equally so, the game between Tipperary and Cavan is going to have major consequences, you feel. So in this 4-team group, very much all to play for here. Lisa Cafferty from Mayo was selected on the Division 1 Team of the Year. A Mayo team that have recently brought in Peadar Gardner as one of the coaching staff here. Worked with Morris Sheridan on the Mayo men's under-20 team this year as well, and now throwing his lot in behind the Mayo ladies for the remainder of 2022. Opportunities for Lucy Spillane now again as they bring the ball forward. Elsewhere, Dublin 4-11, Cavan 1 goal and 4 is a scoreline from there. So no doubt about it, the girls in blue, they are very much laying down an early marker, an early statement of intent, it seems, here on the opening weekend of the TG4 All-Ireland Ladies Senior Football Championship. Catherine Sullivan, quick delivery down again towards Tara Needham, has the ball here, quick exchange back out. Mayo again flooding those bodies forward. O'Connor making a difference since coming in, adding an injection of pace and urgency into the Mayo attack. But once more, Tipperary are able to break this one up. It's the speed and movement of Mayo that's really causing them the problems.
And the offload and the runners coming off the shoulders, you know, they're really, you know, the first 15 minutes of the second half here has been pouring up, but in the last 2 or 3 minutes instead.
Here's Cleona O'Dwyer. This is better from Tipperary. Cleona O'Dwyer into the centre half forward. Creedon gets it back out to Emma Morrissey. Much better from Tipperary, and Emma Morrissey takes the point. Well, there in that instance, Tipperary almost played Mayo at their own game. The quick counter-attack.
Quick counter-attack, and therein lay, you know, what Tipperary should have been doing all along. That's the 4th point, 3 frees and a point from play for Emma Morrissey. So she'll be delighted with her performance out here today. But yeah, what we were just saying there, that Mayo running game though is so effective when they get it going, John, isn't it? Absolutely. Brilliant to watch as well. Yeah. Really entertaining to watch. Yeah. Really very much, you know, free flowing, and players are kind of given almost, you know, an a la carte menu there to go and do whatever they want to do, and in charge on is Catherine O'Sullivan. Just gone off. Didn't see who came on there, John. Yeah, they just seem to be making a lot of the switches there. You mentioned Catherine O'Sullivan. Yeah, that was an opportunity to give other players some game time as well. They have that 10-point lead maintained. Number 23 has come in there for them as well. Lucy Wallace from Burrishrule, I think, is the player who has just been brought in there, and the team captain Catherine Sullivan, the player to make way. But no doubt about it, Michael Moyles at this stage will be looking at the opportunity to try out as many players as he possibly can here in the time that we've got left. About 8 minutes, give or take, when you take the injury time and all into consideration. Tara Needham is going off as well, the Mayo full forward, so they're very much changing the guard here now at this stage. Looks like I can't see the number. It looks like Ciara White coming on there. Could well be. She's going to go in and occupy that full forward position in any case. So once more, Mayo now with Ciara Needham.
coming forward, and possibilities for them again with our corner back there. Saoirse Lally gets the pass away to Sinead Cafferty. Sinead Cafferty, 45 metres out from goal, gives it to Tamara O'Connor, off to the corner forward. Shauna Howley, here's Shauna Howley, fists this one in. That's fisted into the net, but the goal of course won't count. Obviously a fisted effort, and that's going to be disallowed. The umpire signalling that it's wide, but the opportunity was there, but unfortunately fisted to the back of the net, and as a result of that it's going to be a free out here for Tipperary.
Yeah, Sean, I'd be disappointed there though. You know, she maybe could have took it on another step or two there, because she might have, if worst case, she would have drawn a foul, John.
Yeah, absolutely. There was possibilities for her. Decided to have a go at fisting the point, but it went under rather than over the crossbar, and as a result of that, the referee was always going to disallow the score. So 113 to 6 points it remains. 23 and a half minutes played here now in the second half. A game where Mayo looked to be comfortable in, looked to be in control of.
Yeah.
And Tipperary very much at this stage, you feel, really need a goal just to get something moving for them. They brought on their number 19, another one of the subs who has just come in for them. Niamh Mackey is the player who's gone on, and Maureen Murphy is the player who has made way there, the latest change on the Tipperary team. Here's another one of their subs that came in a little bit earlier, Shauna Quirk from Templemore, far side of the field, holding on to possession here now as they try to work it down the field quickly once again. 5-12 to 1-4, the latest scoreline there as well, and indeed Nicole Owens has scored her second goal for Dublin against Cavan, so very much going along according to plan for the Dublin ladies in that game against Cavan. The meeting of Mayo and Dublin will be interesting in the championship.
You summed it up there a couple of minutes ago when you said the next crucial fixture is going to be Tipperary Cavan to see who's going to go into relegation, and it's going to be Mayo Dublin to see who's going to top the group. Yeah,
those will be huge games. Now there's possibilities for Emma Morrissey here for Tipperary. Lovely run. Still Morrissey continues to run forward. Two hops, was it? Yeah, and the referee has spotted it, and it's going to be another free out. A pity, because she was really troubling them.
She's tried really hard. Yeah, she's tried really hard. As I said, she scored 4 points today. You know, put in a big shift in herself, and Marie Creedon as well. Actually, is after trying really, really hard out there for Tipperary today.
Yeah, it's just been, I suppose, the difference of having played in a lower division in the National League very much showing here as well. Here come Mayo, full of running. Danielle Caldwell, their full back, setting this latest attack in full motion. Tamara O'Connor has the ball again, offloads the pass outside her. Ciara White, who you quite rightly identified as coming in and occupying that full forward position, involved there as well. But it's Emma Morrissey going deep to get this one out for Tipperary, offering herself as an outlet for the ball time and time again. Great tackle. Ball just going out over the sideline. Sideline ball for Tipperary. Still they have it. Still they have possibilities. Kicked in there to Delaney, one of their subs that they brought in there. Anya Delaney from Templemore. And now in possession is Shauna Quirk again. And the referee once more blows the whistle. One or two little maybe game-stopping fouls beginning to creep in.
Yeah. The game is kind of petering out. I make it 25 minutes, 47 seconds gone at this stage of the game. The game is just petering out now. It's kind of, I suppose, from when Mayo came out and got a good start at the second half, got a score or two, suddenly it was just a matter of how much.
Morrissey dropping this one in dangerously. It was perhaps worth a chance that if they got the break inside and maybe got the goal, it could have given Mayo something to think about, something to worry about in the closing stages. But again, the Mayo defence has withstood the challenge well, and they break. Aoife Garrity from Westport chasing after this one. Support player up there with her is Lucy Wallace. Brings it onto the opposition 45-metre line. Goes beyond it. Still Wallace. Here's Shauna Howley. Goes into the tackle with the ball. Working frantically hard to get it back. Succeeds in doing so. Offloads the pass. Now they bring it into a much more central position. McCartney is there again, the full forward. Possibilities again here now for Mayo. Tamara O'Connor to the centre half forward. Sinead Walsh. Shot coming in again, and the umpire going for the white flag, and yet another point for the team in green and red.
Yeah, third score, 113 to 6 points is probably an accurate, 114 to 6 points, probably an accurate reflection with 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, 4 minutes to go. And number 21 is coming in there as well, and Nina McVan. I think is number 4, Saoirse Lally, I think is the player who is going to be making way for her. It is. So the change has very much been made now by the respective management teams. Mayo will be quite happy to have secured the opening 3 points available to them here in this game. Just like Dublin, they'll be moving to 3. And of course, the wait will continue for Tipperary and Cavan. It seems to get those opening points here in this group in the TG4 Senior Football Championship. Early days yet, however, round one. And now it's going to be Mayo. They've also, I think, brought Ginny Mortimer on there as well. Another one of the subs who's been introduced, Shauna Howley, continues to torment the Tipperary defence. They've got a number of players back, so there's options further back out the field. Ciara Needham again. Good pass. Tamara O'Connor has been impressive since coming in. Aoife Geraghty setting that pass away. Still there's possibilities here for Sinead Walsh. Just look at the patient play in Mayo here. You just get a feeling, Frank, this game plan very much in mind, maybe with some of the bigger challenges down the line.
I think Michael Moyes will probably say he'll probably give himself maybe a 7 out of 10, I think, or maybe an 8 out of 10 for today's performance. They've won comfortably. They've picked themselves up from the Galway loss and got a couple of players, got a bit of game time into players in some of his panel as well. So I think he'll probably give himself a 7 or 7.5 out of 10 for today's performance from Mayo.
Yeah, they'll be relatively happy with how it goes. It'll be good to get back up on the bike again after losing in that Connacht final. And it was a much more adventurous performance today from Mayo as well, which I think will please their supporters who have travelled here today to McKell Park to watch this match. Now they're going to work the ball over again towards Ciara Needham here. 65 metres out from the goal, moving towards the 45. Well in the closing stages now. Final minute of normal time here as Mayo goes through the motions of closing this particular deal and securing the opening 3 points in round 1 of the championship. They've worked the ball in again towards the forward line. That has been lively, and Walsh into the move, kicking it inside, taking the point. It was excellent play again from Mayo, the way they're really able to get the ball in there to the players like Sinead Walsh. And I know it's something that we've touched on a few times, Frank, but more often than not it's natural finishers that are appearing at the end of these moves.
And that's definitely something that I'd imagine that Michael Moyes has been working on, getting your shooters on the ball, and be patient until you get your shooters onto the ball.
Well, they competed in Division 1A of the National League Mayo, a group that included Donegal, Galway and Westmeath, so it was good for them to advance from there. They were defeated in the league semi-final by the All-Ireland champions from last year, Meath. And here we go now. They could finish off soft in style. There's a shot going in, but an excellent save from the goalkeeper. And in fairness there to Lauren Fitzpatrick, she did really well to make that save.
Absolutely, she kind of made a bit of a mess of the kick out there, gave it away, ended up there with looked like Shauna Howley being one-on-one with the goalie, and actually she pulled the trigger, done things right, but a really, really good save from Lauren Fitzpatrick in the Tipperary goal there. I think Peter Creedon, probably when he looks back, he'll say an awful lot we can work on, but probably areas that we can develop on, and he'll be very much focused on the Cavan game now. Yeah,
very much will be keeping an eye on that match. That'll be very much on the radar. Here come Mayo once again now, very much trying to add on some late scores. Fiona McHale losing out there. Back was Emma Cronin from Moyle Rovers. Here's the goalkeeper. Has played well. Has been a real option out the field for Tipperary today. Maybe apart from that one kick out just a couple of moments ago that led to one or two moments of a little bit of panic in the Tipperary ranks. Mayo again with some defending to do, right down underneath our commentary position. The physical strength of Marie Creedon very much coming into the fore there. Left knee, as you can see, heavily bandaged as well, but it's not stopping her from getting well up the field here. Has that support play arriving. It's Tipperary's number 22 who has it, Shauna Quirk. Just held on to it maybe a moment or two too long, and it affords Mayo the opportunity to get players in. A Mayo team, as we mentioned, defeated by Meath last year in the semi-finals, and last year's senior championship Tipperary were in Group 2. That also contained Cork and Meath. Finished bottom there, lost to Kerry in one of the relegation playoffs, but secured their senior status with a win against Tyrone. So that's how they're staying in the senior championship. They will be looking to avoid maybe going down that particular avenue again. But right now it's Mayo who very much just want to see off this one. Their midfielder, Sinead Cafferty again, has really been a dare say a contender for player of the match here.
Got on a lot of ball, John. Done a lot of good things there. Danielle Caldwell has been very solid at full back, particularly in the second half. She's had that kind of free role since Fiona McHale went off. She's played it very well,
and she's used that free role very well.
Hasn't she?
Yeah, she's certainly added a lot of attacking impetus to the team too. That's going to be a free out for Tipperary. Going back there to win the ball for them, or win the free, was Maria Curley. Their team captain out again here to Lauren Fitzpatrick. Goalkeeper venturing forward, looking around to see what options are available late on. Clara English. Flag up from the linesman on the far side.
And in fairness, he was right beside it, actually. He's right across the far side. I didn't see it at all, but he was within 5 metres of it, yeah.
Yeah, right up at the play. So Mayo 115 to 6 points in the ascendancy here. Good opening round fixture for them. They'll be happy to get that win at home. And now they're just looking to add on a little bit maybe to the scoring average late on. Ball played across to Ciara Needham again. Drops it down just outside the 45-metre line. Taken by Lisa Cafferty. Still full of running. Jersey looks as if it has been pulled. Referee allows the play to continue. Ciara Needham again. Good link up between defence and attack for Mayo right throughout the course of the game. Jenna Mortimer from Hollymount, one of the subs that Mayo have introduced here in the second half, and again it comes all the way back to Ciara Needham. This patient play from Mayo that's so measured. Shauna Howley. Here's their midfielder Sinead Cafferty. Has very much time here to play around a little bit with it, waiting to see what options are going to develop. Of course, all the substitutes that came on, time will have to be added on for that. We're approaching 4 minutes of injury time played now at the end of the second half. Ruan was the cornerback for Mayo. The midfielder is McCarney. And out goes the pass again here to Sinead Cafferty. Wants to get inside the 45-metre line. There's a little bit more urgency about Mayo. Proceeding speed up considerably. Sinead Walsh. Back out it comes again to McCarney. Pass away to the centre half back. Well, Fiona McHale. And again, they're very much working the ball through the channels. All the time retaining possession. All the time frustrating Tipperary, you feel here as well, who just cannot get a glove on it at the moment. McCarney again is their midfielder. Here's the full back, Danny-Ann Caldwell, who has been very, very impressive from start to finish here, right throughout the course of the game. And now running forward and taking on the defence. Looking to try and get inside the 45-metre line. Ciara Needham has it now. Quick delivery. For once, one of the Mayo forwards has made a little bit of space away from the Tipperary defence that have dropped so many players back into defensive roles now. Nina McVan again. Once more, it's going to be the long ball over the top, and this time it could be beneficial. Mayo in here, possibilities here. Late on, ball kicked in, but again it goes to the wrong side of the post, and again it goes wide. Finishing maybe in some shape or form will be something that they will work on.
He's going to something that he's going to have to think about. But the only other thing I'm thinking tactically, John, I know the game is nearly over now, but we've every Tipperary player back in their own half.
Correct.
And yet we're 15 points down.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Are we defending a 15-point deficit? You'd wonder what the sense of that is.
Yeah, well, some damage limitation, maybe your scoring average, but you just wonder. Here come Tipperary now. Possibilities maybe for Creedon. She's offloaded the ball here to their centre half back, and they finish with a goal. Brilliantly done, Niamh Martin. Finding the back of the net late on. They had so many players drop back, but Martin made the run. That finish was brilliant.
Yeah, great finish there, in fairness. But that's one of the first times we've seen Marie Creedon getting the ball, making the ground, and that's maybe one of the first times we saw a player coming off her shoulder to give her a bit of support. Suddenly the whole space opened up, and a really good finish. Yeah,
it's a case of much too little too late, I'm afraid, but still a wonderful goal nonetheless. 115 to 1-6, and who knows, a score like that could be absolutely crucial in the greater scheme of things. Mayo, they'll be a little bit disappointed maybe not to have kept a clean sheet, and they're looking now to finish off here in some style, in some conviction themselves. Here's O'Connor, edge of the D, gets the pass back there once more. Still there's possibilities here from Michael Moyles' side. Late in the game, centre half forward Sinead Walsh, and with that the referee blows the whistle again.
Yeah, a little bit of a tug on her jersey just as going through. Peter Creedon will be absolutely delighted though with that score, because it gives a little bit of positivity, to finish off with, to give something to hang your coat on going into the next games.
There's another free coming in here now for them at this stage.
Yeah, Shauna Howley off the left foot.
Again, she'll be hoping maybe to tap this one over. Great to hear the support over on the far side. So many younger supporters are in here today as well. Very much making their voices heard, making their presence felt here at the home of Mayo GAA, as all eyes now on Shauna Howley. Kicks in the free. And the umpires have a chat, and they're going to give the point.
Yeah, I was pretty sure that was over though, John. From we had
like it.
Yeah, we had a really good vantage point here. We were right behind it, and it was over all day long for me.
Yeah, 1 goal and 17 now to 1 goal and 6. So the 11-point lead has been re-established, and with that the referee blows the full-time whistle. So it's 3 points for Mayo. They're up and running. 1 goal and 17 to 1 goal and 6. It's very much a game that they dominated and controlled, you could say, from start to finish, Frank.
Yeah, right from the get-go, Mayo were in the driving seat, and a polished professional performance from him. I think that's probably what Michael Moyes would have focused in on today. Coming back from a defeat against Galway, okay, let's get ourselves up and running, let's get our 3 points on the board, and let's not make too many mistakes. I loved the game plan when we saw a glimpse of it, John, when we get the running game plan going. Fiona McHale, Danielle Caldwell, Catherine Sullivan coming from deep, Kieran Needham got forward and got a score for herself as well, so he'll be very, very happy with that. There's a couple of areas he needs to work on. As I say, he'll probably give himself a 7.5 out of 10, but in the first game, in a little round robin, getting your scores on the board are crucial. Meanwhile, from a Tipperary point of view, they'll be delighted to get the goal at the end. That gives them a little bit of momentum, and maybe shorten the journey home on the bus a little bit, but it's going to come down to them in Cavan and Mayo and Dublin. Yeah,
it seems that way. Dublin hugely impressive as well today against Cavan. Mayo definitely doing the job that was asked of them here against Tipperary. They've won this one. 1 goal and 17 points to 1 goal and 6. Our team here in Castlebar today, James Conlon was on camera. A pleasure as always to work with Frank Browd here on co-commentary, and indeed to our director and producer Rory O'Brien. From myself, John Lynch, from all of us here, thanks for watching. Bye bye for now.